What up, y'all? It's your boy Said Linus checking in once again. I am here. This is the Virtue.News Sports Show. Today we're going to be talking about the NFL Week 6 recap. Now, I just want to remind you, we are on fanbase.app right now. We record our live recordings right in Fanbase in the audio room. Make sure that you download Fanbase. Make sure that you join the camp Virtue.News Sports. Make sure you follow at Said Linus to make sure that you get alerted every time that we go live. Then we also have we are sponsored by Virtue.News, an online publication that is doing some really great work. So make sure you log on to Virtue.News Sports. Now we're going to talk about the NFL Week 6. I wish I got this show to you at an earlier time, but been a lot going on this week, so we're gonna go ahead and break a lot of this stuff down. So we're gonna start off with the Eagles versus the Giants. Now, I know this was a very, very, very big game this week, and a lot of the narratives about the Eagles, I feel like it's almost like self-fulfilling prophecy. It's almost like they didn't really have these problems, but now they have them. I don't know if it's the outside narrative of the Eagles and they have a boring offense, and you know what I'm saying? A.J. Brown is upset and did all these different things. It kind of feels like that has crept into their mental, and now they look like a team who is struggling. And I'm going to say they're struggling more defensively than they are offensively. And on the New York Giants side, you had Jackson Dart, who came in there and played terrific, especially on the main stage of a Thursday night football game. And Scatterboo played even more terrific. And so it looks like the Giants is really building up a really strong core of athletes in Jackson Dart, Scatterboo, that they looked really, really well against the Eagles. The Eagles defense could not stop. I mean, they couldn't stop running water. I mean, they couldn't stop anything. They looked terrible out there. And I'm gonna tell you one thing: what happens? And the Eagles, they actually won a Super Bowl playing like this. But they remind me of one of my 49ers teams that had Jimmy Garoppolo. And in no way, shape, or form am I comparing Jimmy Garoppolo to Jalen Hurts. But this was the year that we went to the Super Bowl and we played against the Chiefs. And when we played against the Chiefs, what ended up happening was once we got to a point in the game where we felt like we didn't want to run the ball anymore and we wanted to we needed to pass the ball, it sped up who we really are, because we were absolutely we were a running team first. I mean, we literally beat the Green Bay Packers in the playoffs with only 14 throws, and we beat the Vikings in the playoffs with like 7 or 8 throws from Jimmy Garoppolo. So we were definitely a run-first team. And that's what the Eagles are. They are a run-first team. But when their defense can't stop anybody, in order to be a really good run-first team, you got to have a really good defense. Because if other teams are putting up points quickly on your defense, it's going to make that run-first team have to pass the ball. And I felt like that's what's been happening the last 2 weeks. In the second half of the Denver Broncos, the Eagles could not stop them. And so it made Jalen Hurts have to pass the ball a lot in the second half, which Saquon Barkley only had like 6 carries against the Broncos. Against the Giants, he only had 12 carries. Not much more. But their defense couldn't stop the Giants at all. So it put the pressure on the Eagles to have to throw the ball at a rate that they are not used to. And so I think that was the problem with the game. Still not worried about the Eagles. Tighten up their defense. Get back to running the football first, slowing the game down. But I am a little worried about that defense. I mean, they're missing Jalen Carter. He didn't play, but I just felt like in any way they could have got torched, they got torched against the Giants. Safe to say that the Giants. Now, let me tell y'all the score: 34-17. Giants won. Jalen Hurts was 24 for 33, 1 touchdown, 1 pick. Jackson Dart, 17 for 25, 1 touchdown. Safe to say that Jackson Dart is a new franchise quarterback for the Giants. Scatterboo is a new franchise running back for the Giants. They have moved on to another era of New York Giant football, and it looks like Brian Daboll job is probably saved. Nobody is talking about him on the hot seat this week. Let's move on to the Browns. The Cleveland Browns played the Pittsburgh Steelers. Pittsburgh Steelers won 23-9. This was a fairly, I'm not going to say boring game, but very pedestrian game. The Steelers are 4-1, but I do think that they're not winning in the fashion that I would like them to win. We will see what happens when they play some of the tougher teams. Aaron Rodgers, 21 for 32 touchdowns. Dylan Gabriel passed the ball 52 times for 29 completions, 221 yards. I'm going to tell you my takeaway from this game. I'm going to tell you, I really feel as though Dylan Gabriel, they have him on a very short leash. And he's a third-round pick. A lot of his passes were bang, bang. He threw a lot of passes that got a lot of his receivers and tight ends really banged up because he was throwing it right over the middle where they were getting hit. He wasn't protecting his receivers. And so this is the second game we see from Dylan Gabriel. We gave him a pass with the London game. And then a lot of people are still giving him a pass because he played against a Mike Tomlin defense in the Pittsburgh Steelers. I don't know how long we have to wait in order to see Shador. I think the Cleveland Browns fans, and thank you, Dominique, for being in the room. Let me know if you want to come up if you had anything to add to the NFL topics this week. I don't know how long we have to wait to see Shador. And the fans are not going to be satisfied until they see Shador. Now, if Dylan Gabriel comes in and he plays lights out, then they can hold off of it a little bit. But Dylan Gabriel is not showing them anything that would look like he has any ability to be a franchise quarterback. So Cleveland Brown fans are ready to move to the next. They know there's a guy sitting back there who has a very high ceiling, and he has one of the top jerseys in the NFL. He's very popular. He's going to put butts in the seats. He's going to put eyes on the TV. They want to see him. I don't know if they're going to get the chance. I don't. It seems like to me, and this is just my inkling, that as long as Stefanski is around, we're probably not going to see Shador anytime soon. I don't know if Dylan Gabriel has to lose out. Dylan Gabriel is not playing terrible. He's playing okay. And he's a rookie, and there's a lot of things to work on. But at some point, and I talked about this last week, is when you defy the inevitable. It is inevitable for these fans to want to see Shador at some point. And so the longer that you push that off and you continue to lose, the more this is going to be a topic and the fans are going to clamor for it. I tell people all the time, I try not to talk about the Cleveland Browns. I try not to talk about Shador every week. But every week it's the main topic. How long are they going to stick with Flacco? Joe Flacco should have never been on the Cleveland Browns roster this year. Never. And trading Kenny, if you're going to trade Kenny Pickett, cool. should have started the season off with Dylan Gabriel. This whole season should have been about who do we have? We drafted 2 quarterbacks. Who do we have? Is Dylan Gabriel going to be our quarterback going forward, or is Shedeur going to be our quarterback going forward? That should have been this whole season. And they promised Myles Garrett that they would go find a quarterback for him. So I think this leaves Browns in a bad spot, and I think they handled this very well. And Mike Tomlin made a comment where he said, they might be smarter than all of us because, very rarely do you see a team who has a quarterback who they believe is a starter in this league and believed in him enough to be the starter week 1, then trade them to somebody else in their division. I think what Mike Tomlin really was saying was that deep down inside, they know Joe Flacco never should have been there. They know Joe Flacco was over the hill. Don't have the talent anymore to be a starter in this league. They know that was just, for whatever reason, they had Joe Flacco in there. It wasn't football. It wasn't football at all. It really wasted everybody's time. Let's move over to the San Francisco 49ers against the Buccaneers. This was a terrible game for many reasons, but everybody knows I'm a San Francisco 49ers fan. Fred Warner broke his ankle, out for the season. We already got Nick Bosa out for the season. I told you guys this week 1, 49ers have a problem with injuries. And so I can name the litany of players that are hurt, but it's been so many players that now players are starting to work their way back. George Kittle's starting to practice. Ricky Pearsall's starting to practice. Brandon Ayuk shouldn't be too far off from starting to play. Brock Purdy still might play next week. But Nick Bosa and Fred Warner are 2 best players on the defensive side. It's hurt, and they're both going for the season. I think that combined with the fact that we didn't have some of our other weapons on offense led to us losing to the Buccaneers. I do not think that the Buccaneers are a better team than the San Francisco 49ers. And I watched this game. Baker played great. I just think they outscored us. And I think losing Fred Warner does a little something to the team when you lose a guy like that who's probably going to be going to be a first ballot Hall of Famer. You lose him for the season, it does something to your morale. And so I think the 49ers could have won this game, but it was a lot working against us. And when you play against really good teams like the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, a lot of things have to go in your favor. Now, do not believe that the Tampa Bay Buccaneers defense is as good as people think it is, but I do think they have a lot of different schemes and different disguises and different blitz that can kind of hurt another team offensively, make them turn the ball over, things of that nature. But Tampa Bay right now, they're playing good. They're playing really good. They're on their way. They are a top team, maybe the top team in the NFL. But I don't know if they're the best team. But we will see. We will break that down a little bit later. But shout out to the 49ers. Shout out to Tampa Bay Buccaneers. That was a great game. Then we get into the Sunday night game, Detroit Lions versus the Kansas City Chiefs. Let's look at the stats. Jared Goff. Let's see. Jared Goff was 23 for 29, 2 touchdowns, 203 yards. Patty Mahomes, 257 yards, 22 for 30, 3 touchdowns. Patty Mahomes looks like he in midseason form. This is the Chiefs that everybody should be scared of right here. Is this Chiefs team where they can get the ball to anybody, Pacheco, Kelsey, Tyquan Thornton, Juju, whoever. They can get the ball to anybody and they can play, they can win. They beat a really good Detroit team. And I thought that they beat them handily. I I don't think this game was close. And to be able to beat Detroit like that, as good as Detroit is, really makes me think that Kansas City is turning that curve. Hollywood Brown, Rashad Smith, Kareem Hunt. And it was weird because they didn't really run any plays for Tyquan Thornton at all. So I wonder if something is going on with that over there at Kansas City. But either way you put it, a big win for Kansas City. Even though they're 3-3, they're looking like they can go out there and beat anybody at any time. And so my hats go off to them. Detroit is still fine. You know, they got 2 losses against Green Bay the first week, which I think if they play Green Bay again, they would win. And to the Kansas City Chiefs. I still think that Detroit is the toast of the NFC. They're one of the top teams. And so I'm not worried about either one of these teams. So there you have it. Then we get over into Monday night. The Buffalo Bills play against the Atlanta Falcons. I'm sorry. I talked about quarterback play in this league. And I've said that I don't think the quarterback play has been great. And I'm talking about throwing the football. And I think Josh Allen exemplified this in this game. Josh Allen, 15 for 26, 2 touchdowns, 2 picks. Cook, 17 carries, 87 yards. Michael Penix Jr., 20 for 32, 1 touchdown, 250 yards. Bijan Robinson, 19 carries, 1 touchdown, 170. London, 10 receptions, 1 touchdown, 158 receiving yards. This right here, to me, was it was a big win for Michael Penix Jr. to be able to get a big win like that on prime or on television Monday night, and he played decent, probably really well. Did not turn the ball over. Threw the ball better in the first half rather than the second half. Almost had that score at the end of the first half, which would have really put them up big. You know what I'm saying? This game would have been much wider than what it is. But Josh Allen is not taking care of the football. And everybody wants to say, hey, it's his team. It's his team. He need help. I think he just needs to play better. And I think that Bills defense need to play better. We're going to talk about the Eagles and the Bills and the narratives around them in a little bit. But shout out to the Falcons. Then we get to the Chicago Bears and the Washington Commanders game. We got 2 picks from the 2024 draft. We got Jaden Daniels and Caleb Williams. Caleb Williams was 17 for 29, 1 touchdown, 252 yards. Jaden Daniels, 19 for 26, 3 touchdowns, 1 pick for 211 yards. Krosky Merritt, 17 carries, 61 yards. Swift for the Chicago Bears, 108 off of 14 carries. Now look, Washington should have won this game, but they didn't. They let this game slip out of their hands, and this is going to be a game that they wish they could have got back. This is definitely a game they wish they could have got back. Krosky Merritt has fumbled in 2 consecutive games. We're going to have to keep an eye on that. And even though the last fumble, which actually gave the Bears a chance to have the go-ahead field goal, because Washington was just going to run the timeout, reminded me of 49ers against the Giants back in like 91. Yeah, maybe like 91 when Roger Craig fumbled. It was raining and we understand, but still. This is a game that the Washington Commanders are going to wish they had back. But with that being said, it was a great win for Ben Johnson and Caleb Williams to be able to beat a team like the Washington Commanders. We're not worried about the Commanders at all. I'm not. But that fumbling by the running back they have to get that under control. Happy for Jake Moody. He got released from the 49ers because, and I love Jake Moody. He's a Michigan guy, but he was missing way too many field goals in San Francisco, and they had to let him go. and he played very well against the Commanders, and he hit the game-winning field goal. So I am happy for Jake Moody. Both of these Chicago Bears are 3-2, and so I am happy for Caleb Williams. Washington Commanders are 3-3. I do believe the Commanders are much better than Chicago Bears. I think they just got to get their foot back under them, get Terry McLaurin back in, and then they'll get things right under control. So just to reset the room, this is Said Linus recording this right on the Fan Base app in the audio room of Virtue.News Sports. Make sure you download Fan Base app. Make sure you logged on to Virtue.News Sports. We're going to get into, I do my top 5 MVP rankings on the recap weeks. And so I'm going to go ahead and, this is a running MVP race. So there's some new names up here. And this is the MVP race, the most valuable race. Coming in at number 5, I got Patrick Mahomes. I'm sorry, I got Patrick Mahomes, 3-3, but he looked really well. He looks like he's turning the corner. He looks like he has his magic back. Going with Patrick Mahomes at number 5. Number 4, got Josh Allen. He slipped last 2 games, been losing, not taking care of the football. Josh Allen slips to number 4. Number 3, Amon-Ra St. Brown. Amon-Ra St. Brown. Still playing great for Detroit this year. 6 touchdowns still. Didn't score in his last game, but I think he's still performing at a very high clip to be able to be named in the MVP race top 5. Number 2, Jonathan Taylor leading the league in touchdowns with 7. Excellent running back. Indianapolis Colts, one of the top teams, only lost 1 game. Mostly that's because of him. He's making things easier for Daniel Jones. So I'm going with Jonathan Taylor at number 2. And at number 1, I got Baker Mayfield. I'm sorry. It's Baker. He was playing great. Playing lights out. 5-1. Just beat another team with 1 loss with the 49ers. So Baker is number 1. And now I want to get to, and I'm just going to make this quick, the difference between the way we are perceiving Jalen Hurts and the way we are perceiving Josh Allen. We have to talk about it because let me just break down Jalen Hurts right now. Jalen Hurts, yes, they lost 2 games in a row. I believe most of it is the defense not holding up the end of the bargain. I believe that a lot of the outside narratives have crept in. But I think the Eagles will take care of that, and they will come back a stronger team. Run first team. And Jalen Hurts has won a Super Bowl, so they know how it is to get to the Super Bowl and actually win it. They had that feeling before. So I think a lot of the scrutiny coming for Jalen Hurts is a little unwarranted. We know what the Eagles are. We know what they are. Let's run the ball first, and let's throw the ball second, and let's be accurate. Let's be efficient. And also, he can win games with his feet. It's the NFL. You're going to lose a couple games. But I think the level of scrutiny of they're not throwing the ball enough. We know what the Eagles are. They've been this way for the last couple of years. We know what they are. Run the ball first and build off of your run. And once they get back to that, they will be fine if that defense holds up for the bargain. But a lot of the narratives around Jalen Hurts and he's boring and what if they had this quarterback or what if they had that quarterback? Jalen Hurts is not being asked to do much. Jalen Hurts has mastered the Eagles' way of winning. And I feel like the last 2 weeks they have not played the Eagles' way and they need to get back to it. Josh Allen, on the other hand, is somebody that we're always trying to crown. We're always trying to crown Josh Allen as the best quarterback, the next guy who's going to win, Josh Allen has not been to a Super Bowl. And now Josh Allen is being really loose with the football. And we say that he needs more help. That it's not really Josh Allen's fault. We have to put, once you become MVP, we have to put a lot of responsibility on you. And that's the same thing we do with Lamar Jackson. You won an MVP, okay, you can't just say, oh, you don't have this or you don't have that. Nah, the responsibility is on you to win that championship, to win that Super Bowl. And that's the next step for Josh Allen. Are you going to win a Super Bowl? And we have to hold him accountable like we hold everybody else accountable. He did not play well the last couple weeks, and he needs to play better in order for that team to win. And he does have enough help. So we're going to talk about a lot of this stuff. Our next show, we're going to do the Week 7 preview. This is the Week 6 recap. We're going to do a Week 7 preview. We're going to break down the next few games, talk about some different stories in the headlines. And we're going to just keep this show moving on. Thank you for everybody who listens. Thank you to everybody who's been supporting the show. And I will be back in the next episode. A lot of times I have a crew up here with me, but it's been a crazy week, so I had to get the show in anytime I could. But just thank you to you guys for listening, and I will talk to you guys later in the next episode. All right, peace.